to join us here tonight. Excited to have you all back once again. Some of you I recognize from last night, some new faces as well. So we're very excited to introduce you to some of the Fighting Saints on the team this year. And very, very excited to get some of these new faces. There are going to be some old faces that you do recognize on this call, but also some new faces. And so we're excited to bring you the second Meet the Saints night. I want to get started by introducing all of the Fighting Saints that we have on the call. We have Dylan Herzog, Stephen Halliday, Finn Brown, Aidan McCarthy, Jacob Goldowski, and Connor Kurth. So guys, everyone, thank you for joining us tonight. And I'm going to go down the line here, introduce everyone by asking them a question that we actually got from the fans, and that was kind of how did you get into hockey and maybe your earliest hockey memory. So just as people are up on my screens, I'm going to kind of ask it in that way. So Dylan, let's start with you. First and foremost, welcome to the team. And how did you get into hockey, and maybe a little bit more background on yourself?
Well, both my parents are from Minnesota. So my dad played hockey when he was younger. He played high school in Minnesota. And then he moved out to Washington, where I was born. And I did a lot of other sports before my dad finally made me try hockey. But I tried it out and I loved it. So it's just where I've been my whole life.
Awesome. Stephen, fans obviously know you from last year. But for those that might not know the story of how you got into hockey, how are things going and how did you get into the sport?
My dad played hockey when he was growing up, so it just came like that. He kind of got me into it, and it was just prototypical how most guys get into it. They just start liking it and start playing it more. I think I got into it around 5 or 6 in Toronto.
New player on this year's squad again, Finn Brown. Finn, welcome to the team, and how did you get your start in hockey?
My family's from small town Ontario, and I grew up in Toronto. So hockey was kind of secondhand nature there. So my dad started skating me pretty young, like around the age of 3, and instead of playing hockey like 5 or 6, they kind of took off from there.
Connor Kurth, you were up with the team when things unfortunately ended last year, so we didn't get a chance to see you on the ice in the Fighting Saints red and white. But back this year for your first full year, how did you get your start with in the sport of hockey?
Yeah, very similar to most of the guys. My dad played. And he built a rink in our yard and just had me start skating when I was like 3. And then next winter came along, so I was 4. That's when I started playing.
Aidan McCarthy was more or less the starting goaltender at the end of last year, coming in for year 2. What was your start in hockey like?
Yeah, it's like most guys as well. Like my dad played just a little bit when he was younger, but we live really close to a rink by my house, and that's how I got started when I was like 4. So I think they would just take me there. And yeah.
And then Jacob, is it Jake or Jacob Goldowski? I want to get this right.
Jacob or Jake, doesn't matter.
Okay, we'll try both and see which one fits a little bit better. Jake Goldowski, again, new to the team this year. Happy to have you. What was one of your earliest hockey memories that you can come up with?
When I was at the rink, my sister used to figure skate when she was a kid. And I always used to run up and down the hall saying, no, I don't want to skate. And it took me 6 months for my parents to finally convince me to go on the ice. So it was just a matter of time. But ever since then, it's been a great journey.
Well, again, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. We have a couple questions just to help you guys know, get to know the players a little bit better. Obviously, some familiar faces on this call, but we'll start with some of the newer faces that you might not recognize from last year's team, because a lot of the players on this call weren't on last year's team. And Jake, we'll start right with you. A lot of junior experience, just no junior experience in the USHL level for a couple years now. You did have some time with the NTDP. What's it like coming back to the USHL, and what excites you about coming back?
I think what excites me is it's more of I would say a more defensive league, and it's more tight, like a pro-style game. And you really have to make your smart decisions, smart plays, and really have to rely on your teammates more.
Stephen, you've been in this league for a couple of years now. This is already year 3. What is exciting you most about being in Dubuque for your second season?
Yeah, it's my first time coming back to a USHL team, knowing what to expect. Obviously, with COVID, it's a little bit different away from the rink, but I think Oliver and his coaching staff have done a great job, not only giving us the tools to succeed at the rink, but making it as normal as possible. and I'm excited for this season. We got a great group of guys, and should be a really good season.
Dylan, you were more of a recent addition to this Saints roster. When you were added to the Fighting Saints roster and you were coming to Dubuque, what were your thoughts and immediate feelings?
Yeah, I mean, right away, obviously, I was excited. I mean, with all the stress from COVID and putting on all the teams everywhere, I mean, I was just excited to get somewhere and play some hockey, and especially in such a great league and such a great program. I mean, yeah, it was a quick turnaround from moving out to Dubuque, but I was just overall excited.
Aidan, last year came into camp and the coaching staff told you that it was, you knew your role was going to be behind Eric Portillo to start the season, but because of injury, you became the starter towards the end of the year. How much do you think that experience as the starting goaltender benefits you coming into year two?
Yeah, it's huge. Obviously, for most of the year, like I wasn't playing, too often. And it's just like really big, just knowing, especially you get into that groove, like when you're playing every night, you really know what to expect. And obviously coming back this year, it's a huge help as well. Just knowing and getting that experience against some really good teams.
And Connor, as I mentioned at the top of the call, you were with the team last year for a little bit, coming up doing what we call affiliate visits here in Dubuque. But you were actually trying to get some on-ice experience towards the end of the season. And obviously with COVID-19, it came to an abrupt end. So having experienced some time in Dubuque, just not experienced some USHL game time, how excited are you to be able to experience the part that you didn't get last year?
Oh, I'm very excited. After just being in the rink with the boys and the bus trips, and then seeing what they're doing before the game, and then seeing them on the ice, it was fun to watch, but it's hard because you just want to get out there. So I'm really excited about the opportunity this season.
And finally, Finn, for fans that haven't seen you play, I'm going to ask this to all the players that we didn't see last year, so everyone but Aidan and Steven. But for those that haven't seen you play, describe yourself as a player and what we can expect from you on the ice.
Well, I'm a big guy who can move his feet pretty well. I've always been able to do that. I can shoot the puck and overall just kind of get around the ice, move around, get in open areas, and just use myself as effectively as possible.
Connor, I'll bounce right back to you. Same question for you. What can we expect on the ice, your style of play?
I would describe myself as a playmaking forward. I like to shoot the puck, but I also like to make the nice pass. And I like to get in the corners. I'll work in the corners pretty well, but mainly a playmaking forward.
Jake, how about you? What's your style of play?
I'd say I'm more of a little bit of a power forward, but I can always make that little quick inside play and like to drive the net and rip pucks on the net and just have a good strong stick and everything.
Dylan, how about for you?
I like to consider myself an offensive defenseman. If the rush proves itself, I'll jump into it and make plays wherever I can. But first, I got to lock down the D zone. So.
And a question that we got from the fans, and this is directed for Steven and Aidan. We'll start with Steven and then bounce to you, Aidan. But last year, a team that was as good as any that Dubuque has had in the last 10 years when you look at the numbers and the success that the team had. And obviously, again, it's well documented how the season got ended. Has there been any talk between the returners of a little bit of unfinished business or wanting to build on what happened last year, Steven?
Yeah, I'm sure we've had a couple conversations, mainly just wishing we got to finish it because I know we had a great team and I felt we could have given Chicago a really good push in that conference final. I believe we would have made it there, and I think since we had such a good team, I feel like it comes once in a while. I've been in the league a couple times, and I've been on the other end of things where you're at the bottom of the league, and I think I kind of have experience with losing in the league, and then obviously last year with a lot of winning. So I think you can kind of see right off the bat like how teams are going to go out and like chemistry-wise, and I think we have a really good team this year, and I think that we could do just as well as last year we got the right pieces again. We're probably not going to replace Reese Gaber and the Twins and Eric, obviously, but I think Aidan did a really good job last year, and I think we have a really good team this year again.
And Aidan, Steven mentioned this, and Oliver's talked about it a lot, the chemistry and how tight-knit last year's group was. How much did that teach you about what happens off the ice can directly impact what happens on the ice.
Yeah, obviously that's huge. And with like the group we had last year, obviously we had some really good players and some great talent. But obviously, like I think the thing with that team last year was just the buy-in. Like we knew we could win every night and we wanted to win every night. And I think us guys, back to your question, coming back this year, we just kind of we don't really talk about it, but we just know like, yeah, like obviously what we had last year, we want to continue it this year and obviously get that across to obviously all the new guys and just going about everything we do day to day, like try to win every little thing.
Well, we do have more hockey questions, obviously, but some questions as well as we're going to try to get to know these players off the ice, and that's what some of the fan questions were dictating as well. So this is going to go rapid fire down the line. We'll start with Connor here. Connor, favorite place to eat out and why?
Chipotle. I love the burritos there. I get a chicken, steak, and rice. Pretty basic, but that's my go-to.
Jake, I'll go to you next because I'm guessing that this might be the same answer since I went to Chipotle today to pick up my online order and I saw Jake Goldowski's name on the rack as well right next to it. Is that safe to say?
Oh, yeah, Chipotle is the best spot, but you always have to get vinaigrette on the side. That's the best part of the whole bowl or burrito.
Do you have any other Chipotle hacks in terms of how to maximize the bang for your buck?
Definitely go half steak, half chicken. You get more at that, more meat, more protein. Fill up the body more.
Anyone else on this call, before I just go down the line and get a bunch of Chipotle answers, anyone else on this call also a big Chipotle fanatic, or will I get different answers if I ask the rest of you?
100%. Chipotle is the move.
Anyone not Chipotle, speak up right now.
I got last year. I'm not sure these guys will have it as often as we did last year, but I liked Ichiban. It was a little bit more expensive than Chipotle, but definitely worth every Thursday. Fulper and Rob got a bunch of the guys to go there, so that was probably my favorite place in town.
Finn, are you also Chipotle, Ichiban, or other?
Yeah, I'm a Chipotle guy, but I don't get the bowl. I always get the burritos. I don't know. I've always kind of done that, and it's just kind of stuck.
So, Steven, I want to go back to you because Ichiban is a big thing with the Fighting Saints here. Are you guys more of the Korean barbecue, or is it more sushi?
I think we got a mix, guys. I know Becker last year would always get the sushi with his meal. Fulp would usually get maybe a little bit of sushi here and there, but usually like we were regulars, to be honest, every Thursday. But I think most of the guys would get either there was like a chicken and rice kind of deal thing there that it just came with, and that's what most of the guys got. And then whatever they didn't eat, they would use for their pregame meal the following day on the Friday. So it ended up working out good for us.
There you go. Well, I know during the last couple months, everyone's had a lot of time for Netflix shows, movies, etc. So this next question is all about that. Connor, we'll start with you. It can be a movie, a Netflix series, but what was the favorite thing that you binge watched during quarantine?
Yeah, me and Max Burkholder, who we live together here, we've been watching Breaking Bad. We started that when we first got here, and now we're almost done. But Breaking Bad is definitely a great show.
Dylan?
My parents love Friends, and I had never seen it, so I watched all 10 seasons of that over the course of quarantine with them.
So you said your parents love Friends and you watched it. Does that mean you didn't love Friends?
I mean, I love it now, but I didn't before, and I hadn't seen it, so now I'm in love. But
there you go. Aidan, how about you? Movie or television show that you binged over quarantine?
I would say The Last Dance. Probably one of the best documentaries I've seen. It was on Michael Jordan, and yeah, it was just great to see like into his life basically throughout his career.
Feels like a long time ago that came out, even though it was probably only a couple months. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How time has gone the last few months. Jake, what was your show to binge over the last couple months?
If being honest, I had two. I had Outer Banks on Netflix and Game of Thrones this summer. So very good shows.
Finn, what were you watching?
I got into Narcos, both Colombia and Mexico. I rolled through that in about 2 weeks. It's a great show, and really interesting how everything happened back in the day.
How many episodes? How many episodes did you average a day if you're able to go through those in 2 weeks?
What is it? 4 a day? 3 a day?
There you go.
Right on.
Steve-O, last but not least, anything that you recommend?
Yeah, I watched the show You on Netflix. I even though it's a little bit of a weirder show, I liked it a lot.
We got another fan question popping in here. Again, rapid fire. I'll start with you, Finn. Any pets at home? And if so, what type of pet and what's their name or their names?
Actually, my parents just got a new dog. We had a dog about 5 years ago, but it passed away. And I don't know. I guess they wanted to pull the trigger on another one, so I got a cockapoo back at home right now. I haven't met her yet, but looking forward to meeting her soon.
Steven, pets?
Oh, I have 3 dogs and 2 guinea pigs. Obviously, I don't live with them right now, but yeah, they're at home. We just got one over quarantine, actually. Shelton sheepdog.
Jake, how about you?
We have a dog and a cat. Dog's named Nash, mini golden doodle, and a cat, and my sister rescued her. So her name's Callie.
Dylan, pets? How many?
I actually don't have any pets right now. I grew up with the dog though, but as I grew up, I developed an allergy to both dogs and cats. So no more of that.
So you won't be hanging out with Steven since he has 3 of them. Allergic to guinea pigs, or have you figured that out yet?
Allergic to what?
Are you allergic to guinea pigs as well, or have you not figured?
No, I think I'd be okay with Steve-O's guinea pigs.
All right, perfect. He can bring those into the rink then. Aidan, how about you?
Yeah.
Pets?
Yeah, I have one dog, a German Shepherd Black Lab mix named Tank.
Tank. That's a good dog.
Yeah.
Connor, last but not least.
I have a 1-year-old yellow lab named Macy.
Awesome. We'll get back into hockey questions here. Connor, welcome your guest here to the live stream. Don't be shy. It's okay.
Oh, it's my villa, Mom.
Question for you, Connor, is obviously not much experience with Dubuque, but we did mention that experience. What's the biggest thing you learned from your time here with the Fighting Saints that you think will translate this year?
Yeah, there is just so much more preparation that goes into like your game, your week during practice. Just everything about your life is 100% all the time. So being here last year, it really helped for me to see that coming in this year for camp, been able to implement that in my life. So that just like being prepared every day, giving 100% attention was big for me.
Dylan, you mentioned that you looked at yourself as more of an offensive defenseman. When you evaluate your game, what do you hope to be able to improve on the most here with your time at Dubuque?
Yeah, I think in my past year as a junior, I've been good defensively, but not as good as I want to offensively. I guess I want more for the team to win, but I'd also like to develop my offensive game, get some points in there just to help out the team.
Steve-O, next question is for you. We know you were working with Chad Remical this summer here in Dubuque a lot on your skating. Was that something that you knew you had to work on, and how has that process been going in terms of working on your skating and getting quicker on your feet?
Yeah, Chad does a good job. I had ice every day. He hopped on with me, no problems. Yeah, throughout the summer, obviously, since I'm a lot taller, I'm around 6'4". It's obviously if I can be just as fast as a guy who's 5'10", 5'8", like I think that's a huge thing for me. And I also wanted to work on my shot. I know I came in last year, I think I had like around 13 goals, and the year before 11. I think I just wanted to not only be a good passer, but being a shooting threat just makes it different for the D-man to read you stuff. So I think I worked on my shot, obviously, and skating is a huge part of the league and how we play as a team. So definitely worked on my skating as well.
Jake, we mentioned all your junior experience before coming to the Fighting Saints. What are 1 or 2 big lessons that you've learned throughout your time that you really take into this season with you?
No matter the score, no matter how much you're down or how much time's left, to always keep going and push your teammates to keep going. Because I've had a couple 5-6 goal games in my junior career, and we came back and won in regular time and in overtime. So to never give up and always keep pushing your teammates.
Aidan, again, you had a good amount of experience last year in net. What was one thing that was challenging for you as a goaltender last year that maybe you didn't expect at the USHL level that now you'll be ready for coming into year two?
I'd say just like the readiness. Obviously last year it'd be like, play like every 2 weeks or something for the most of the season. And, this year just keeping everything the same. Obviously playing more games will help a lot, and just getting in a regular routine, I would say for the most part, the same thoughts, no matter who you're playing, whatever, same pregame, everything. So, yeah.
Finn, for those that were on the call last night, they were able to meet Ryan Alexander, who was a teammate of yours before coming to Dubuque. So what's it like to be able to have a familiar face here in Dubuque that you've had a lot of experience with already on the ice?
It's been great. Ryan and I are really good buddies. We live about 10 minutes from each other back in Toronto. So we've been able to build chemistry. We played the last 3 years together, so this will be the fourth. So yeah, it's been really nice. Flew down with them. Just look to keep it up with them, I guess.
Wow, Finn.
Were you were you aware before you came here about the Dubuque and Arizona State tie that now Ryan is a part of, and have you talked to him about that at all?
We weren't quite aware of all the ties with Arizona State. I know Stu and I were talking about it. He wasn't aware either that Ryan is committed there. But yeah, it's been interesting, and obviously he likes it. The school likes players who come through Dubuque, so it's good for him.
Yeah, I think it's now a Fighting Saints requirement to have 2 players per year that have committed to Arizona State. So we're going to try to keep that up in the near future. About 5 more minutes here, and we want to make sure we get a couple more fan questions in. So this one is for Steven and Aidan. We'll start with Steven and bounce to you, Aidan. Having had that USHL experience outside of Dubuque, favorite place to play and why?
Aidan?
I don't know. I'd have to go with Waterloo. Obviously, I would say the rink is like relatively the same as ours, but just the environment there, especially considering last year. Obviously, we had a good team and we won a lot there, but obviously it gets pretty rowdy there, and they don't like us, we don't like them. So I'd definitely say Waterloo.
Steven, how about you?
I'd have to say Waterloo too. The big ice definitely helps. Not so sure I like their fans, obviously, but I think that the ice is I like the bigger ice. So yeah, probably Waterloo too.
Jake, I guess I could ask you this question as well from previous USHL experience. Did you have a place that you really enjoyed playing?
We didn't get around the whole league, but my favorite place that I've played at was Fargo. It's a very nice rink, and that's the year they won the Clark Cup, so it was very good atmosphere.
Awesome. We've got, I think, time for 1 or 2 more questions. We'll go with a hockey question here, and if we have time for one more, we can add that in. But we asked a similar question last night. We'll start with you, Connor. Favorite hockey player growing up, and maybe a reason or 2 why?
Yeah, my favorite hockey player growing up was always Eric Stahl. He's from Thunder Bay, and my aunt is as well. And she was the head media person for the city. And so she got me, when he won the Stanley Cup, he brought it back to Thunder Bay, and she got me an autographed picture of him and a few other like memorabilia stuff from Eric Stahl. So just ever since I was a kid, I've always liked him, like, because that was when I was young, so that influenced my decision.
Dylan, when you were growing up, who was a player that you maybe aspired to be like or model your game after?
Yeah, when I was a kid, I was always a big fan of the St. Louis Blues. And a big player that I was always watching was Alex Pietrangelo. I was lucky enough to grab 27 this year. It was one of the only numbers left. Yeah, I've just kind of always looked up to him. One of my goalie coaches back home, he knew Alex Pietrangelo through ties in the NHL. So I've just been able to talk through and listen to him tell about his game. So I've always wanted to follow things that he's done.
And who was your favorite player growing up?
I always loved Jeff Carter. I was always kind of a bigger kid, even as a younger age, and he was a bigger guy. He was a right-handed shot, had a great shot, and just to add it on, he was in a cameo in one of my favorite TV shows, Entourage, so that was kind of cool to see. So, yeah, he's always been my favorite player.
Jake, who was it for you?
I used to be a Pittsburgh fan growing up because I'm from Pennsylvania, but I switched over because my dad brainwashed me, and I became a Flyers fan. And ever since then, growing up, it was Philip Forsberg. when he was in his end of his career. So I'd say Philip Forsberg.
Aidan?
Growing up in Detroit, I would have to say Jimmy Howard. Obviously, like, he hasn't been great recently, but when he was younger and stuff, and with the Wings being really good when I was younger, I loved watching him, and I actually got a chance to skate with him a couple times this summer, so it was cool getting to know him a little bit. And yeah.
Steven, how about you?
Clayton Keller on the Coyotes. It's not like all the way up, but like ever since he played at BU, I've watched him, like how he plays, obviously. So probably Clayton Keller.
Awesome. Well, we'll take one more question here. This one was from the fans as well. Starting with Dylan here. Favorite thing to do if you're not playing hockey, maybe a hobby or something like that?
Well, actually, during quarantine, I picked up disc golfing. I would go with my girlfriend's dad all the time, and it's actually really fun. I didn't think I would like it, but it's addicting.
Aidan, any big hobby that you want the fans to know about?
Big golfer. Love to golf and just be out on the course and stuff like that with friends and family.
Did you get to golf a lot during quarantine?
Not for the first month or so, but after that, like a really good amount actually.
How's the game right now?
Well, currently I haven't played in a little while, but towards the end of before we got back, it was in really good shape.
Jake, a big disc golfer, big golfer, something else?
I am a big video game person, if you can consider that. But other than that, I don't know. I honestly like to fish and like to golf and all that.
What's the video game of choice?
Too many. I would say Fortnite or NHL or Call of Duty. I don't know. There's too many.
Steve-O, what's the biggest hobby for you outside of hockey?
Outside of hockey, it's kind of related to hockey. I make like hockey video mixtapes type deal on Instagram. So I'm not gonna throw that handle down, but yeah.
Drop the handle, Steve.
Yeah,
I'm not throwing down the handle. I'm not throwing down the handle. No, we're not throwing that. Maybe another time.
Finn, are you also in the hockey mixtape game, or is there something else that?
No, I wish I could say I was a good golfer, but I'm not. So more of a relaxed guy, with some friends, watching a movie or whatever, just chilling. I do watch Stevie's edits, though. I do know his handle. I'm not going to drop it.
Drop
but,
the edit.
No.
Yeah. You can hit me in a DM if you want to know it.
We'll make the chat public here at the end tonight so everyone can get the information. Connor, last but not least, what do you like to do outside of the rink?
Over the course of summer, my friends got a wake surfing boat, so I picked up wake surfing and did that a lot. So I'd say wake surfing. That's my favorite thing to do in the summer.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate everyone joining tonight. Thanks to all the players, Dylan, Aidan, Jake, Steven, Finn, and Connor, and all the fans for joining us. One final question. We'll let Aidan have the last word here. We've got preseason games coming up here in 3 or 4 days. What's the mood been like at practice, knowing that you're about to play real competitive games here in just a few short days?
I think everyone's really, really excited to get going. Obviously, we haven't played games since last March, so it'll be a little different getting back to like the normal game schedule. But yeah, we're all really excited and ready to just get out there, obviously, and not just practice, but actually start going with games and stuff.
Absolutely. I know I can speak for all the fans here. Very excited to see you guys hop out on the ice. And again, thanks everyone for joining us tonight. For those that are signed up tomorrow night, we've got another Meet the Saints and then 2 more next Monday and Tuesday. Again, Dylan, Aidan, Jake, Steven, Finn, and Dylan, thanks for joining us. And everyone have a good rest of your night.
Thank you.
Thank you.